you have land and you're thinking about access, or you're looking to buy land and you are concerned about making sure you can access as much of the property as you possibly can. Now, there are a few things you do need to understand when it comes to accessibility of the property. One, what purposes are you trying to have that access for? There are what I consider 3 different versions of access. You have your permanent access, your secondary access, and then, your trail access, okay? So what are those differences? Permanent access are, think of more of those standard permanent roads, something that a car could even drive through, something that can very obviously support heavy equipment like your logging trucks or any other type of machinery management equipment that has to get down the road. That road is able to support those operations and those trucks as well as a regular car driving down it. Your secondary road systems, secondary access, are those road systems that were made because of some type of operation, like logging trails, skid trails. They were created because of an operation, and now you are simply maintaining them. Skid trails, for example, and they can either be maintained for truck use, or they can be grassed and seeded in and just try to maintain as you can open them back up later, but you're not necessarily driving your Honda Civic down that road, and they don't necessarily support ongoing logging traffic regularly. Then you have those trail systems, okay? Now, trail systems are not drivable systems by traditional cars, not your trucks, not your cars, not logging equipment, but maybe more of that ATV type of style, or you're walking. So this right over here is a great example of what I would consider a trail system. Something that you could probably very easily, although a small buggy, I'd like to see this a little bit bigger, you could get a buggy down in here, or simply you are just walking this access system. Now, what is the point of even doing that if you can't get a car in there? And this is where I think you kind of underappreciate trail systems throughout the property. Because here, for example, we have a naturally regenerating clear cut right here. I'm out here doing a property assessment for some management options, but we can see right here we have a mowed down trail system. So otherwise you'd have all of these hundreds of acres that I'd have to beat through the brush. But when you put trail systems, and this one happens to lead, it looks like, to an old food plot that I'm going to be going to check out in just a few moments. When you have these trail systems, even if you can't necessarily drive down them, it does make your property so much more accessible for you on a personal level. And you cannot really put a finger on how important that might be, especially if you're a homeschooling family, a homesteading family, or a hunter. So do not underestimate just doing some simple mowed trail systems throughout your property to increase your access. Got any access questions? Throw them in the comments and I'll answer them.